Well, hello and welcome everybody to the new health conversation. I hope that you're all having a good day, night, evening, whatever part of the world you might be in. Uh, I hope that this information that we're going to share with you today will be very, very valuable to all of you. So the very first thing that I want to talk about, I want to talk to all the sensors out there that I appreciate your efforts. Everything that we share in the new health conversation is only based on medical proof. We do not give opinions. Nothing we're sharing is not safe. Nothing that we're sharing is not vetted at the highest levels in medical research. We've written 4 best-selling books, appeared 20 times on PBS and over 1,500 lectures all over the world. And everything we share with the audience, hello everybody coming on. We're going to talk today about how in the world did she drop 30 pounds in 30 days and look at the change in her body. This was without any kind of exercise, and it was not a diet. It was, a matter of fact, it's based on new combinations of food consumed in a totally new way, and it was created by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. Let me back up. This was invented by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world who have no products. They don't have a company. They're researchers. What they did was figure out, after 40 years of research, over 100 studies, how in the world is it possible to create this kind of a result. Just for a moment, just look at the change in her body conformation. That's 30 days. It's not Photoshopped. It's not AI. It's 100% safe. So before some of you start to say, lots of people, James and Joyce and User and Roxanne and Angie and Wobble and Large and Deb Hill and wow, lots of people. And if you can start tapping on the screen so we can get some likes going to increase the algorithm so we can reach more people. Wow, Lohit, Carl. So anyway, how in the world did she do this? I promise I'm going to get to that in a moment. But first, I want to show you some of the other before and afters just to get a feel for how amazing this is. Now, it took them 40 years, 100 studies, thousands of people to finally crack the code on obesity and health. The most important reason to do this, as you're going to find out, is not this dramatic weight loss. By the way, these pictures are about 8 or 9, the studies are 8 or 9 years old. The people have maintained their weight loss now for 8 or 9 years. Let's take a look at the second woman. She only needed to lose about 35 pounds. She lost 21.2 pounds, 38.75 inches in 30 days. And you look, starting at her hips and move up to her stomach, abdomen, look at how much she shrank. The thing I want to impress upon all of you is that these people are losing weight, and the researchers measured water. They lost no water weight. And instead of losing any lean muscle, okay, they actually gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass. And yet none of them were allowed to exercise. Not that the researchers were against exercise, but they didn't want exercise to be an outlier. And certainly people doing this can and do exercise, okay? Now, the other thing I want to show to all of you, above her head there, you see the new health conversation. It's a totally free medical website. Now, I know all your skeptics already, you're already jumping off. Well, fine, then go do keto, paleo, meat. You're going to find out that all these diets now are obsolete. They're finished, calories in, calories out, keto, paleo, whatever diet you think you're on. They're doomed to failure, not because I say so. We're going to show you people like Harvard Medical School. We're going to show you Medicare. We're going to show you major people now saying that this whole calories in, calories out thing that we're all obsessed with is totally wrong. Can you imagine that after all this time, that everything they've been telling us is 100% wrong? We've got 80% of America overweight, 50% obese, 50% pre-diabetic. Do any of you actually think diets work long term? I know some of you are going to come on and say, oh, I lost 50 pounds. Yeah, but you probably didn't realize 25 to 40% of what you lost was lean muscle. And 2/3 of you are going to end up gaining more weight than you lost. Not my opinion on the studies. Let me introduce myself. Why am I yakking? My name is Peter Greenlaw. I've been a nutritional researcher for 23 years. I've written 4 best-selling books with some of the biggest medical doctors in the world. I did 20 shows on PBS. I was interviewed on the 4 biggest daytime shows in America, and I did over 1,500 live lectures in hospitals and medical schools in towns. They even flew me to China. For 22 years, that meant 0 in the medical world. Well, guess what? Now we have 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. If you go to that website, the New Health Conversation, we won't contact you. We don't need to contact you. All the medical proof is there for you to see. Now, if that medical proof isn't enough, then that's fine. But for those of you who really want to change their lives, you'll notice right above it says free coaching. We coach you for free. Now, why would we do that? Someone coached us. We didn't know how to do this. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. Now let's look at some of the other amazing transformations. So I showed you Kristen. That's 5 pounds a week, 38.75 inches. Now this is the daughter of a friend of mine. I know her. This picture was 8 years ago. Wait till you see this. She lost 60 pounds in 3 months. Look at her face. Look at her arms. Look at her stomach area. It's not Photoshop. This is real. Any of you ever seen anything like this? Any of you ever done anything like that? Anybody ever seen anything like this? It's not a diet. You're going to learn it's so much more than a diet, because it's not a diet. It's not even based on counting calories. It's based on these new food combinations. I promise I'll get to it in a second. Now let me show you just 2 more before and afters that'll blow your mind. First of all, this is an older gentleman. How about 40 pounds, 52.5 inches in 30 days? But that's not the big part of his story. Look at his lab work. Look at it right there in green. A1C went from 8.4 to 6.4. His triglycerides from 242, they dropped to 124. We got 5 likes. Let's get some more taps on that screen if you like the content. If you don't like the content, then there's plenty of influencers out there that'll give you a bunch of nonsense. Why are they not showing you any medical proof of what they're telling you? Why? Because they don't have any. Do you get it? They don't have any. Hell, I didn't have any for 22 years, to be quite honest. I know where they're coming from, right? But you're following them anyway. You're doing keto or paleo or Mediterranean or Jenny Craig or Weight Watchers or Nutrisystem or time-restricted eating or fasting or water fasting or carb recycling or count my macros, all blown to smithereens by all the big medical research now. Why did it take them so long to figure this out? I don't have the answer to that, right? All I can tell you is in 1964, 15% of us were overweight or obese. Well, in 2024, 60 years later, we're at 80% overweight, 50% obese, 50% pre-diabetic. Do any of you think diets work? I'd love for you to put it in the chat. Tell me a diet you think works long term. I'd love to know. And anybody, please put it in the chat. So the Angelo, let's see, who else? Sophie. News from Jesus, John O'Connor, Vanessa, Tina, Angelo. Hello and welcome to all. We got 88. Come on, let's tap on that screen. Let's get some more likes. Okay, so let's come back to the main issue here. Okay, how in the world did she drop 30 pounds in 30 days? But let's make it even more realistic for most of you, okay? Most people maybe don't need to lose 30 pounds, although a lot of people need to lose 50, 60, 70, 80. But let's just deal with a happy medium here. Let's assume you wanted to lose 20 pounds. If any of you could, put it in the chat. Hello, Vanessa, Tina, Angelo, Wellbeing, Tina, Angelo again, God's Choice, Luis joined. Let's get some more taps, get some likes up there. Look, how did she do this? Well, she didn't. She just did what these researchers did. Okay, so let me give you the context, and then I'm going to show you exactly, tell you what she did and how she did it and why this is so amazing. It was invented, whatever you want to call it, by voted the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. There's a rating service where they rate researchers based on how many studies did you submit and how much was your work cited by other researchers, okay? The grading goes, it's not 0 to 100, okay? So a really good score is around 20 to 25. That's by these it's called H index. That's who rates researchers in the whole world, okay? So a score of 20 is good. People who win the Nobel Prize, their score is about 30. This researcher, his score is 46. He is the #1 nutrition weight loss physiologist in the whole world. They invented this after 40 years of failure. That's what he said. We failed miserably. We looked at every diet out there. People always lost weight initially, and every person, every time, gained all their weight back, and 2/3 ended up weighing more than what they lost. And when we did the analysis, we found every time on every diet, I don't care what the name of your diet is, 25 to 40% of what people were losing was their lean muscle mass. Well, when you lose lean muscle, guess what your body does? It slows down your metabolism. That's why you plateau on these diets. That's why you come off the diets and you gain everything back. It's not your fault. You put your heart and soul and effort into losing the weight, and 2/3 of you are going to weigh more than when you started. It's as if you'd be better off never to have dieted again. Am I making sense to everybody? Put a yes in the chat or whatever. And I'm willing to have a civil conversation. You can disagree with me, that's fine. As long as let's have a civil discussion. You don't need to call me names. People, I don't know for what reason they want to do that. I'm only sharing with you medical proof. analyzed at the highest levels in medicine are peer-reviewed human trial studies done on human beings. What are you guys, men and women, what are you listening to? You're watching influencers, nice people. I see medical doctors and chiropractors and dietitians and nutritionists and fitness people and weight loss coaches and health coaches. If any of them had a solution, they'd have $1 trillion company. There's 1 billion people worldwide, 1 billion clinically obese. It's not just in the United States anymore. What in the hell are we doing? We're defining the definition of insanity because every year they rush to Barnes & Noble. What's the new diet? Oh, now it's the shots, which we're not against the shots. I'll share with you the real evidence. How effective really are these shots long term? We're not arguing the fact, I don't care what diet you go on, you're going to lose weight initially. And then what happens? It slows to trickle. Then you plateau. Then you give up on the diet, you come off the diet, you get everything back and say, hey, I better go on a diet again. There's no way in earth you can justify that in 60 years, from 1964 to 2024, we went from 15% overweight obese to 80% overweight, 50% obese, 50% pre-diabetic. We're trying to save you from ruining the rest of your life because you're making yourself unhealthy by going on these diets, calories in, calories out. I don't want you to believe me. I'm going to show you the evidence. Okay, so a lot of you, the reason people gain the weight back is due to no, calorie deficit, jab. I'm going to show you. Calorie counting is dead. It's over. It's finished. It can't possibly work. Now, to let you know, jab, here's Medicare, okay? Not Peter Greenlaw telling you this. Title, Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. Our researchers reviewed long-term studies of calories in, calories out diets to assess whether dieting is an effective treatment for obesity. The studies show that 2/3 of dieters regain more weight than they lost on the diets. In summary, there is little support for the notion that calories in, calories out diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. Nonsense. Calorie counting is dead. It's over. It's finished. And this, look at this. You telling me a diet, you're going to lose 21 pounds in a month and 38 inches? Not happening. Not happening. I know, Barbara, I'm going to do this. Well, Barbara, go somewhere else then. There's plenty of people on social media. Go. If you don't want to know how you could lose 5 pounds a week, then you're on the wrong podcast. You want some simple answers. Simple answers don't work, okay? I was just about to explain it to everybody. Here's what the researchers did. First of all, here's why diets don't work. It has nothing to do with counting calories because your body doesn't know what a calorie is. A calorie is just a measurement. It's a bunch of hot, it's nonsense. The only thing your body cares about is nutrition. So when you go on a diet, what are you really doing? You're reducing the amount of food you're consuming. That's all you're doing. But what else are you lowering? Nutrition. Who's telling you this? Nobody. What the brain does when it senses there's not enough nutrition to run all the organs from a fuel standpoint of view, what does it do? It immediately stops accessing energy stored in your fat cells and goes to your muscles. It's in starvation mode, thinks you're starving. And what it does, it begins to use your muscles for fuel. Then it slows down your metabolism. You slow down your metabolism, that's why you gain all the weight back. But worse than when you're losing muscle mass, you also slow down your own immune system. So these fancy diets you're all on, you're making yourself unhealthy, for crying out loud. There's not a diet studied where 25 to 40% of the weight you're losing is not lean muscle mass. Period. End of the story. So the researchers, when they created this, they said, wait a minute. After 40 years, we put people on all these diets. Can we? Is it possible to give people less food, but go search for foods with huge amounts of nutrition? That's what they did. So what she got, what everybody gets on this, she got a grocery list, but only 30% of the food she consumed actually came from the grocery store. She got a list of proteins, fats, carbs, etc. Okay? But instead of giving her calorie amounts, they gave her serving sizes for the first time ever. But that was only 30% of the food she consumed. The other 70% of the food she consumed came from 5 foods from around the world, from Russia, from Mongolia, from Tibet, South America, New Zealand, that had huge amounts of nutrition, but not huge amounts of quantity. So it was nutritional density over quantity. So now they had the ingredients, but they didn't have the recipe yet. They invented it. 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. Yeah, 4 meals a day. Starting with these 5 foods around the world for breakfast, lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal at night after her last meal, the 5 foods around the world. She did that 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, she did, this will spin all of you. something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time-restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these 5 foods, but then they had her eating 8 times a day. You heard me. She was eating about every hour and a half to 2 hours. Look at the results. 5 pounds a week. Look at her stomach. Look at how the fat shrank. This isn't Photoshop. This is real. Any of you losing 5 pounds a week on these crazy, stupid diets that are completely done for? I got another, study after study. Why you shouldn't count calories. Research has found that counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term. The approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people who try to count or restrict calories gain back more weight than they lost. Every one of these studies is saying the same thing. Yeah, you can all get mad at me. You can do whatever. You can pout. You can whatever you want to do. But if you think you're on a diet that's going to allow you to lose weight long term, I hope you're right. But the medical evidence is overwhelming. It doesn't work. When you got people like Medicare saying Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments, diets are not the answer. Our researchers studied long-term results of calories in, calories out, and found that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost on their diets. That's Medicare saying that. What are you doing? What are you doing? You believe in the influences because you're on keto or paleo or Mediterranean or carnivore or carb recycling. Listen, just tell me one thing. If any of these diets worked, why are the numbers continuing to skyrocket in the number of people that are obese or overweight? I'll give you an example. Here's Johns Hopkins Medical School, new study. Study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese. Who are they talking to? All of you. I hope you're part of the 14%, but what's the chances you're going to be part of the people that aren't overweight or obese in less than 5 years? Somebody's got to stand up for all of us and say, stop the madness. You're all counting calories. Oh my gosh. Guess who doesn't count calories? Your body. Your body has no idea what a calorie is. It's a measurement. It's the amount of heat it takes to raise a gram of water 1 degree Celsius. Look at this girl here. This is the daughter of a friend of mine. How about 60 pounds in 3 months? 5 pounds a week for 3 straight months. She doesn't even need to lose any more weight. Look at her face, arms, stomach. You can think it's photoshopped and go and follow your influences. There's plenty of them on social media. But why aren't they showing you any medical proof? Why aren't they showing you any medical evidence for what they're telling you works long term? See, no one's arguing that you can lose weight initially, but is that what you want? You want to lose weight just to gain it back and look for a new diet to lose weight and gain it? But it's not just that you're gaining back what you lost. They're saying 2/3 of you are going to weigh more than when you started. What the hell are we doing? Look at this guy. How about 40 pounds, 52 inches in 30 days? I know, it's photoshopped. It's AI. They made it up. This is BS. No, it's not. This is real. Look at his blood work. Yeah, you think we lied and changed? You could. You could think we lied. We edited the results. We didn't edit anything because it's in. You can go and look. It's online. You can see the studies. What I'm sharing with you is from the studies. This is in the top medical journals in the world. These are peer-reviewed on human being studies, not mice, rats, or chimpanzees. I understand it shakes all of you up. This is too good. This can't be possible. It's unhealthy to lose that much weight that fast on a diet. But on a diet, have you ever seen anyone lose 10 pounds a week on a diet consistently? Or how about Andy here? How about 45 pounds and 60 inches in 30 days? And again, look at his blood work. Look at his A1C, 7.9 to 6.2, cholesterol 120 to 59 in 30 days. 30 days. And I know Julie spins everybody. Look at this. So in 30 days, actually she went, the other picture is 37 days, but she lost 30 pounds in 30 days. That's a pound a day. Aren't most of you on diets, aren't you excited about a pound a week? So who else is coming on here? So Dr. Jamasi, did you understand, Dr. Jamasi, so did you Did you understand the explanation of what they did? And again, I'm sure you understand if you're a doctor that peer-reviewed human trial medical studies, it's the, that's the epitome of everything. And yet you can go and see them right there, doctor. The New Health Conversation. It's free to go there. We won't call you. See, what's so, I think, interesting is that people have all these opinions. And people definitely get mad at me, and I get very animated. I agree. But I'd love for anyone to try to convince me or convince any of you based on the evidence when we're talking about Medicare saying that 2/3 of people who go on diets end up gaining more weight than they lost long term. And Medicare said Medicare's search for effective obesity treatment diets are not the answer. And now we have 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies where people are losing, a pound a day or more. And people, I talk too much. Really? Well, then you don't have to be on the podcast. Then go and watch the people tell you to do keto or paleo or Mediterranean. They're nice people. I'm not disparaging them, but what they're telling you is total nonsense. I mean, can any of you support the fact that we're in crisis? We have 80% of Americans overweight, 50% obese, 50% pre-diabetic. No, if you want talk, follow other influences. We give you medical proof. Now, is it simple? You want a one-sentence explanation like, oh, here's some recipes and go lose weight. No, look, it's way more complicated than that. As a matter of fact, let me read for all of you the medical explanation here of this whole calories in, calories out thing. This is not my opinion. This is from the medical researchers. And here's what they said. The biggest failing of the calories in, calories out formula is ignores that the body adjusts its control system when calorie intake is reduced. So while the calories in, calories out can support people achieving weight loss initially, the reduction in energy intake ensures the lost weight will be regained and more. So there's medical evidence that reducing, see, the problem is the only thing your body cares about is nutrition. When you're going on these diets, they call it, it doesn't matter, you're eating less food, but then you're getting less nutrition. The researchers, that's what they figured out. Wait a minute, can we give people less food, like in this case, Julie, but can we increase the nutrition? I know it sounds really simple, but these are the top nutritional weight loss physiologists in the whole damn world. They figured out the food groups, but they limited. Only 30% of the food she consumed, or any of these people consumed, came from the grocery store. It was proteins, fats, carbs. And you actually get a list they created. I should have showed this to everybody before. This is what they used in the medical studies called the Blueprint for Success. And what they did, all of these yellows are video instructions from the researchers, who, by the way, have no products. They don't have a company. They're scientists. They simply were looking for a solution. They didn't have the ingredients. They didn't have the foods, but they found them and identified them and put them together in very specific groups, and then very specific new ways of consuming food. So 30% of what you consume, fats, proteins, carbs, et cetera, came from the grocery store, and it was based on serving sizes, not calories, okay? Does everybody get that? Then what they did, they found other researchers who had gone around the world, who'd gone to these other researchers, not them, not the ones that created this protocol, but they'd gone to Russia, to Mongolia, to Tibet and the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, nutrients. So they had the combination now, 30% from the grocery store and 70% from around the world. But that wasn't the final solution. Then they had to figure out, okay, we want to create new ways for them to consume the food based on these combinations. So what did they do? 5 days a week, she and everybody else had 4 meals a day. They started with the nutrients from these 5 foods around the world. That was breakfast, no other food. Lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner, these 5 foods. Then 2 days, now that was called protein pacing. That's what they called it, not me, the researchers. Then 2 days a week, they did something called intermittent nutritional fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store. Listen to this, though. They let them have the 5 foods around the world 8 times a day. What? Yeah. They were eating every hour and a half to 2 hours. Those are the results. But here's some other results you probably can't see right away. Look. So the point is, what can I say? Susan Veal, keep educating. Thank you. Yeah, I'll keep educating you. So listen, what they figured out was that if you could reduce the quantity of the food, just the bulk amount, but increase the nutrition, look what happened. I mean, come on, everybody. Please, anybody in the chart, if you were going to lose 30 pounds on the best, all these people with opinions and all the people get mad at me and all the people tell me that I talk too much, whatever. Again, at the bottom line, show me anything you have where you can lose a pound a day. I'll wait. I will wait. And we have medical professionals here. We got doctors. You don't have a solution. If you had a solution, there's no way in hell 80% of America would be overweight, 50% would be obese, and 50% would be pre-diabetic. Does that make sense to all of you? Do you get that? Or do you want to continue with paleo, keto, Mediterranean, all these diets? Now listen, I'm going to read to you from a huge study. Again, nothing I'm sharing with you is my opinion. Please understand. But let's talk about more diets. Let's talk about Journal of the American Medical Association, one of the biggest medical journals in the world. They did a 12-month study titled Comparison of Weight Loss Among Named Diet Programs in Overweight and Obese Adults. They looked at 48 different studies, 7,286 people over 12 months. And they named, that was the point, they named all the major diets. They looked at keto and paleo and Mediterranean and time-restricted eating and fasting, the Cornish diet, the zone diet, lose weight for your blood type, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem, on and on and on. 12 months, and they looked at the most amount of weight loss in a year on any diet to the least amount of weight loss on any of these diets. Over 12 months, the only difference in the weight loss was 10 ounces. And what was the weight loss? After 12 months, people lost about 16 pounds, and up to 40% of what they lost was lean muscle mass. Does that sound like success to you? But you're all following it. Now, listen, some of you may have lost way more weight than this, but according to all the studies, 2/3 you're going to end up weighing more than you did when you started. So follow these influences. Why aren't they showing you any medical proof? Why are they not doing that? Because they don't have any. They have opinions. They have before and afters. They have anecdotal stories. Those don't matter in medical science. They don't count. I know we've got medical people in here that are willing to chime in, but do you all agree? A peer-reviewed human trial medical study, there's nothing higher in medical analysis. Like no drug ever gets approved without a peer-reviewed human trial study. I mean, this one I think is even more. She only needs to lose 35 pounds. She lost 20. That's 5 pounds a week, okay? 21.2, 38.75 inches in 30 days. But look at her from her hips and her stomach area, abdomen. Look at that. You think she's sucking that in? She's not. You can't suck in your hips, first of all. I mean, you all have an opportunity to change the rest of your lives. Or you can believe, I'm going to be kind and say, the misinformation we've all been given for more than 100 years about the way to lose weight is calories in, calories out, and energy deficit, they call it sometimes. But the medical evidence now says, no, stop. This is insanity. I have another big study over here. Oh, here it is. This study is called The Science Behind Why Diets Don't Work. I'm going to read directly from the study. Nothing is my opinion. Now, you can have whatever opinion you want, but where's your medical proof to back up what you're telling me or arguing with me about or getting mad about that I'm talking too much? Really? A review of more than 30 long-term studies show that going on a diet, calories in, calories out, causes weight gain. The more diets someone has tried, the more they weigh. So not only does dieting not work for long-term weight loss, calories in, calories out, but it's also associated with increased risk of binge eating, eating disorders, and long-term weight gain. You may not like what I'm saying. Science doesn't care. They don't give a damn about me. I know I make some people mad, so I'm trying to wake you up. I'm trying to help you. So instead of getting mad at me because maybe I talk too much or I'm too loud or I'm too boisterous or you don't like my tie, you don't like me, it doesn't matter. Do you want those results or don't you? And we offer you at the website right above her head, the New Health Conversation. It's free to go there. We won't contact you if you go there. We don't do that. We let the medical evidence do the speaking. And if you like what you see, you can scroll down. It says right above your head, free coaching. And you're buying food. That's what you're doing. You're buying food for a month. 30% from your grocery store and 70% from these food groups that the researchers have nothing. They don't sell it. We don't sell it. You buy directly from the suppliers who found these foods in Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, with huge amounts of nutrition, but not huge quantities of food. So they give the people on this protocol, they gave them less food by volume, but way more nutrition. That's why it worked. That's why look at her. Where's the loose skin? She lost 30 pounds in 30 days. Shouldn't she have some loose skin, everybody? No, it's not just that. You miss the point, Nicole, okay? Well, Nicole, again, you're welcome to go follow all these failed diets. Then go do that, okay? You don't have to be on this podcast. I don't have to waste my time. I mean, I've done over 1,500, I've helped over 500,000 people in the last 23 years around the world, including myself, where I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago, and I've kept it off for 23 years. I mean, you can have any opinion you want, but show me anything you have that will equal this. What would it be? What diet would you put someone on to create that kind of a result? And yet we give you a free website where you can go and see the medical proof, and then you get free coaching if you want. There's no obligation to, you can go and see all the medical proof for free. Okay? No, Nicole, it has nothing to do with fasting, okay? Okay. What do you mean? It's right there. It's not, no. Okay, so bow and arrows. Let me explain something to you. We want you to see the medical proof first. Okay? The New Health Conversation. If you like what you see, you scroll down, you get a coach, they'll show you everything. They'll give you the grocery list that you're going to take to your grocery store, okay? They're going to give you the blueprint for success, which is what they use in the medical trials. And they're going to show you how to order the other 5. You're not buying from them. You're buying directly from the suppliers of 5 foods around the world. But then the key is teaching you how to consume it. It's not some simple process. So someone was saying, well, it's about serving sizes. No. That's the serving sizes are just indicative of the overall program. Instead of relying on calories, they relied on the density of the foods. That's why they limited only 30% of the food people consume came from the grocery store. The other 70% from these 5 foods around the world. And then it was how they consumed it, when they consumed it, in what order. You get free coaching. Why wouldn't you take advantage? We got coached. Why wouldn't you take advantage of the free coaching? I mean, don't do it unless because the coach also is going to hold you accountable. Maybe you don't want to do that. But again, I want anybody, show me your diet, show me any diet where people are losing a pound a day or more. I mean, I'll show you all a picture that'll stun all of you. It's not Photoshop. This is 50 days, so 7 weeks, okay? This picture, this gentleman weighed 350 pounds when he started. Okay, wait till you see this, everyone. How about 75.6 pounds, 64.75 inches in 30 days? Look at his blood pressure. It was 149/81. It dropped to 103/64. How about his triglycerides? From 278, they dropped to 115. That's in 50 days. Who's got something like this? That means that in 50 days, he lost 1.5 pounds a day. Most of you are excited to lose 1 pound a week, and you think that's really great. Yeah, on diets, but you're making yourself unhealthy because 40% of what up to 40% of what you're losing is your lean muscle mass, which slows your metabolism down. All the research says 2/3 of you, whatever diet you're in love with now, you're going to end up weighing more. Now, you could be mad at me now, but wait. I mean, John Hopkins. By 2030, 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese. Does that sound like a successful formula for whatever the heck we're doing now compared to this? And again, it's a free website. Again, bow and arrow at the website. Go there. The coach, it's free. There's no gimmicks. It's free coaching because they need to explain to you, okay? Well, number one, they need to give you the grocery list for the grocery store, but they also teach you, they got coached. They've done this. They've helped. We have medical doctors. We have physician's assistants. We have dietitians, nutritionists, weight loss people that have all come over to this and said, oh my God, I've never seen anything like this. Nobody has. And it was invented, not by me. I have nothing to do with that. By the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the entire world. So who else has questions? So again, all of you, I would just encourage you to go to the website. It's right there and it's free, the New Health Conversation. Why wouldn't you go there? How about April? How about 60 pounds in 3 months? 60. It's not Photoshop. It's not AI. You think it was just some simple solution, like they gave her a bunch of recipes and she lost this, and she counted her carbs and made a list and drank more water and did 10,000 steps. No, not that any of that's bad, but it doesn't work. That works. That is real. That's the daughter of a friend of mine who's a realtor. I know her. That picture's about 8 years old. She's kept the weight off for 8 years. I mean, seriously, if you want a really simple explanation, there's people on here that'll sell you recipes. They don't work, but it sounds good initially. It's like there's no quick fix to this, ladies and gentlemen, although the weight loss is so dramatic that people become very incentivized. I mean, when I did this 23 years, I lost 8 pounds in 4 days, 12 pounds in 9 days, 20 pounds in 18 days, 30 pounds in a month, lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. That's why this protocol, I didn't name it, they did. It's called R2M, Race to Maintenance. So bow and arrow or anybody else, if you really want to, the website is right here. Okay, hold on. Can you see it there, bows and arrows? The New Health Conversation, no spaces. The New Health Conversation. I know it works. I went there just a couple hours ago. As a matter of fact, I'll show you the website, everybody, just so you don't think you're worried you're going to go there and there's the website. There's nothing to buy on that website. All the 1, 2, 3, and 4, those are all videos. There's an interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. There's a more detailed video explanation of what they did on a daily basis. The actual research studies, you can click on there and go see them. And 4, there are before and after pictures on there where people lost 100 pounds, men and women, and have no loose skin at all. There's nothing to buy. There's no buy button. There's no products to buy on there. If you like what you see, then you decide, not us. Scroll down, get a free coach, and then they'll show you, here's the grocery list, and here's how to order those 5 foods from around the world. I mean, it's all free. The coaching is 100% free. Because someone coached us. I know it sounds good to be true, and like I said, people get really upset with me. I get it. I understand. I'm very verbose sometimes, and maybe I do talk too much sometimes, but it's only because I'm so passionate. See, you don't understand the rest of my story. My own mother was morbidly obese my whole life. I never knew her thin, I never knew her healthy, and I loved her. She was awesome, and I went through fat shaming with her. We'd see her crying. We'd go to the grocery store, and kids would be making fun of her and look at the fat woman. And so 24 years ago, she called me up one day and said, Peter, I have one really big wish. This is before I was a researcher. And she said, I have one really big wish in my life. I said, Mom, what's that? She said, I would give anything if I could spend 24 hours thin. I said, wow, Mom, that's cool. Well, 6 months later, massive heart attack and stroke. My mom did all these, and I'm using the word damn, all these damn diets that were available 24 years ago. She did the grapefruit diet. She did the Cabbage Patch diet. She went to Weight Watchers. She'd cut diets out of the National Enquirer. And absolutely every time she'd lose weight, she'd lose 20 pounds, but she'd gain 25 back. She'd lose 25 pounds. She'd gain 30 back. I believe my mom dieted herself to death. I really believe that. That's why I'm so passionate. That's why I guess you could say I have a real venom against diets. And for 22 years of my research life, having written 4 best-selling books with some of the top medical doctors in the world, we couldn't prove it. There was no proof that why are so many people on all these diets in America and the world's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, despite more and more and more diets? Well, it took these researchers, they were doing the same thing, calories in, calories out, for 40 years. And people always lost weight initially, and then all the people gained all their weight back, and 2/3 ended up weighing more than what they started with. Now, that may make you mad. You may not think it's going to happen to you. I hope it doesn't. But the medical research is saying that in study after study after study, that now they're saying that this whole calories in, calories out thing was totally wrong. Even, I mean, you've got people that are, what I would say pretty high. Okay. Here's Harvard Medical School, okay? All of you. Their study said, stop counting calories. I'm going to read directly from the study. Nothing is my opinion. So you can have whatever opinion you want. This is what Harvard's now saying. Most people have been taught that losing weight is a matter of simple math. Cut calories 3,500, you lose about a pound. But as it turns out, experts are learning that this decades-old strategy is totally misguided. The idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said. It's time to take a different approach by concentrating on what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. That's exactly what these researchers did. They have nothing to do with Harvard. But we've got Medicare, we've got major medical journals now showing that diets don't work. Now let's talk about the shots, okay? Because that's a big deal now. Ozempic, semaglutide, triazepam, whatever, right? You all can look this up. New England Journal, I'm not against the shots. They're helping diabetics and they're helping people morbidly obese. But let's look at the results, okay? This was a 68-week study with these people. That's a year and 4 months. The weight loss is right in the study, so I'm just telling you the facts. The people lost 32 pounds in 68 weeks. Of the 32 pounds they lost, 40% was lean muscle mass. And they said right here, this showed clinically relevant reductions in body weight in 68 weeks. Let me put it in perspective for you. Julie lost 30 pounds in 30 days. By the way, here they lost 40 pounds of lean muscle. They measured Julie, she gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass with no exercise. The research is not against exercise, but for purposes of the studies, they eliminated exercise. Now, I know it sounds good to be true, and most of you are skeptical. And we only have 132 likes, so people are mad at me this morning and not tapping on the likes. It's okay, it's not going to change my life. Because the sad part is that those very people that are criticizing, taking me on, they're going to go back to a diet that's just going to make them unhealthy. That's the danger of these diets. It's not just you're going to gain all the weight back, but when you lose lean muscle and slow down your metabolism, it can take you 1 to 8 years for your metabolism to recover. And of course, that typically never happens. They're saying 2/3 of you will gain more weight than you lost. It's like, why do a diet in the first place? I mean, if this makes you mad, I'm sorry. It's just the medical proof. And what they proved over here was simple. That's where I was. State the website name. Okay, that's where I was. Submit button errors. That's really strange because we're getting we get hundreds of inquiries. I don't know what to tell you. I guess I can go and look at the website. I'll have my tech guys look at it when I get off this live here in just a little while. But that's really bizarre. So you did scroll down to the bottom. It says free consultation. You filled in your information and hit submit, and you're saying it gave you an error. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just, if that's the case, I got to fix it because obviously there are people on here that do want to learn, more about this. Wow. All right. Well, I promise I'll end this here in 3 or 4 minutes, and then I'll come on and do another live here in just a little while. So does anybody else, before I close out this particular one, because now I got to go and look and see if there's a problem on the website. That website you're looking at there, the New Health Conversation, okay? So bows and arrows, give me about 20, 30 minutes and try it again and see. I'm going to go and check it out. So for the rest of you, I just want to say thank you for being here. I apologize if I made some of you mad, which I probably did. I do it every single time. But it's just really sad that people, take me on when there's the medical proof proving that what you're doing by counting calories is only going to end up, well, for 2/3 of you, you're going to end up weighing more than you do now. Does that sound like a solution to any of you? And anybody thinks it's fasting, it's not. They're not even listening to what I'm saying. It's intermittent nutritional fasting. It's fasting with nutrition. It's not fasting. I mean, it's just silly. It's just so silly that people are so positioned in something that's completely wrong. Well, 550 years ago, the smartest people in the world were all telling the world what? The world was flat. That's where we are now with these diets. I mean, think about it, everyone. If 1 billion people worldwide are clinically obese, if 80% of America is overweight, 50% obese, 50% pre-diabetic, does anybody really think that diets work? Does anybody really believe that, So anyway, I'm going to end this. I got to go take a look at the website, find out what's going on, and then I'll probably do another live. It's now 9 o'clock on the East Coast. I probably will do one maybe at let's see, so 8 would be 10, probably around 10 o'clock, because I got to see if this problem, I can fix it, okay? So bow and arrows, bear with me. I'm going to go take a look at it right now, and hopefully we can get it fixed right away if in fact, it's a problem on our end. Okay? Thank you all for being here today.